Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina and I make videos on lifestyle, motherhood and the process of doing up our home. Or at least that's the plan. Still early days, this is the second video. But today I just want to talk about something that's potentially a little bit niche, but it would have really helped me earlier on in motherhood when I started taking my baby swimming for the first time. Now, I braved quite a lot of baby classes. Baby yoga, fine. The sing-song ones, fine. Even though I'm tone deaf and I can't sing to save my life. But something that really intimidated me was the idea of taking her swimming. And so many of my friends said, you know, go, it's great, she'll love it, you'll love it. And it just used to send me into a panic because I thought, oh my goodness, like I have this tiny baby. Although she was about 4 months, to be fair, by the time I started taking her. But just the idea of knowing the logistics of getting her in there and getting her changed and knowing what I was supposed to pack. She's our first baby too, so I was still kind of getting to grips with motherhood. The idea of getting her ready and getting her into and out of a swimming pool without having a meltdown was actually really scary to me. But I'm so glad I did, because we went and we did love it, and we're still going now. And she's 2, so it was one of the best things that I did. But at the time, I think I would have really appreciated a video like this to help me get the swim bag together and kind of know what to expect a little bit. So if you're in the shoes that I was in back then, I really hope this is helpful. So let's talk swimming with a baby, or to be fair, with a toddler, because all the same things still apply. I would say first things first, if you're wanting to take your little one swimming, there's probably some like wider practical considerations. So thinking about where you want to go, like do you just want to visit a normal pool, or do you want to go to a baby or toddler specific swim class? I went off friends' recommendations and also looked up the reviews for places that were local to us and found one that met our needs. Things I also looked at back in those early days was how close the parking was to the swimming pool, like what the accessibility was like. And I was also interested in kind of the logistics, because with quite a small baby, if you're starting when they're young, it's helpful to know, can you take a pram in? Can you take a car seat in? What's the kind of drill for getting them from the car park into the swimming pool? And if you do take those things in, like a car seat or a pram, where can you leave them? Is there somewhere secure to leave them? Can you take them into the changing rooms or not? So it can help to put your mind at ease to think about some of those things first. If there is parking as well, to think about whether it's paid parking or whether you get a fixed amount of time free. Especially if you're going to make a regular commitment to going, that can be something to factor in. And as they get older as well, it can be really helpful if where you're going has a like cafe area or a bit of a foyer where you can sit, give them a snack after swimming, or give them a feed, or breastfeed if they're a little baby. So it can just be helpful to think about those things if you are feeling a little bit anxious about it and you want to kind of wrap your head around the logistics, especially if you're feeling a little bit vulnerable in terms of being out of your comfort zone and trying something new. In terms of what you need to pack, I can talk you through what I've been taking. In reality, it hasn't actually changed that much from when we first started until now. So what I would say is, once your sessions are all booked, or perhaps some of these things you might need to purchase, so do think ahead. But once you've made that commitment that you know you want to go swimming, you need to get yourself a bag. You might already have one suitable at home, or you might need to buy one. But what I would say is, you need a big bag. And when you think you've got a big bag, you may even need a bigger one still, because it's amazing how much stuff you end up needing to take with you. So my favourite to date has been this one. It's just, oh my goodness, yeah, you can see how big it is. It's an M&S just bag for life. What I particularly like about it though is it's got a zip top fastening, and it also has an internal pocket. And what I particularly like about that is when I started taking her and taking my daughter, I had like an open top beach bag that was a similar size, which was fine, except one day I had her in my arms and I was trying to shove it into a locker that was high up, and the whole thing tipped forward and everything fell out on the wet floor, and I just wanted to cry, to be perfectly honest. So no more open top swim bags for me. We are zipped bags all the way. And having an internal compartment, if you can, is also really helpful. Didn't have that in my first bag, but you can bet when you've loaded all the swim kit and the baby stuff back into the bag and you have a child in your arms or in a car seat, you get to the car and you cannot find your wretched car keys. It's the most annoying thing ever. So I find that having an internal pocket is great. It's great for putting your valuables in, like your watch or your phone whilst you swim, but it's also great for keeping your car keys in allocated slots so you know where they are. So that's bags. Whilst we're on the subject of bags, I would also say that just a standard plastic bag for life is also invaluable. I always keep one in the bottom of the swim bag so that I have something to put the wet stuff in when we've got out of the pool. So definitely worth bearing that in mind. It's definitely something to add. This is a bit of a side note before we go through other things to put in the bag, but when we're talking about lockers as well, it can be really handy to check in advance whether the lockers are ones that need a pound coin or whether they work off like a key on a wristband or a magnet or whatever. But just to make sure that you've got with you what you need. You know, some health clubs and things like that will need a little padlock to put on, so if you check before, then at least you know what to expect and you know that you can safely lock up your valuables whilst you're in the pool. In terms of swim kit for baby, toddler, pretty much everywhere that I've been has had a double swim nappy policy, and what that essentially means is that you need to layer one swim nappy over the other. Sorry about the barking in the background, that's my dog barking at a delivery next door. Murph, dude, not cool. Shh, shh, shh. So you have the option of either using a disposable or a reusable nappy as your first layer. So I've tended to use the reusable ones. They just look like this and you can just pop them through the machine and reuse them. We haven't tested them too thoroughly with poo. There's been the odd little, you know, in the pool. It doesn't get out of the swim nappies. They do their job. But for all intents and purposes, these have served me great. You can also get disposable ones, I believe just from the supermarket, that look more like regular nappies. I don't know loads about them. I believe them to be single use. I don't know if people ever do reuse them or if there's the potential for that. But essentially you either need one of these or one of those disposable ones as your base layer. And then over the top, you need a second layer. These are absolutely great. So this is a Splash-About. I think they might be called Happy Nappies. Does it say in the thing? It just says Splash-About. So this is what I would then put over the top. And you can see they're quite elasticy, especially around the legs. The idea being that if there were any little mishaps in the pool, it wouldn't get through the nappy and go into the water. So it seals everything in. So yes, one of these, one of those. And then depending on how sensitive little one is to the cold, you probably want another layer over the top, and there's so many different kinds that you can do, and that's really down to personal preference. Some kiddos just seem to wear these and not get chilly, but our little girl does run cold, bless her, she does feel the cold, so we tend to now use one of these with one of these over the top, so it's like a little neoprene wetsuit. I hope you can see, but this actually has the second nappy layer built into it. Not all of them do, so you need to check, because obviously you need to make sure it's hygienic for the pool. But you can get these with the legs built in. You can get like the swim wraps as well. I do actually have one I can show you. So you can get these style as well that will go over the double nappy. You can also get, I do have it down here. Sorry, I always keep extra stuff in the swim bag, and I tried to throw some of it to the side so that I wasn't just showing you loads and loads of stuff unnecessarily. But just for demonstrative purposes, you can also get like these style. That's kind of more I'd call beach wear, but some of the kids do seem to wear these in the pool, and sometimes I will pop that on our little girl, and then I'll pop the wrap over the top, so she's got two layers, still with a double swim nappy underneath. So that's kind of in the water attire. For yourself, you can just wear what you're comfortable in, one piece, two piece, swim, what is it? Like swimming trunks. Couldn't think, sorry. Need another coffee. So yeah, so something for you. And then we need to think about logistics of getting dry when we come out of the pool. So usually it's a good idea to carry a towel. So once you've got in, you've got baby changed, actually, before we talk towels. Change mats. Depends where you get changed. It may be beneficial to carry a change mat in your bag. So the particular like health clubby leisure centre that we swim at, they have like padded benches, so you could just lay a towel and change the little one on there. But I keep one of these swimming change mats with me as well, because sometimes we swim at other places, or you know, if you're on holiday, it's got like a non-slip back and it almost feels like kind of neoprene kind of type material. But yeah, it does the job. You can rinse it out. This is a Bambino Mio one. Nice and lightweight. Just something to think about whether you need it or not. Now, I was just about to say, once you've got baby changed and ready for the pool, it's a good idea to take a towel in with you poolside, so you've got something to wrap them up in so they're nice and warm when you get out. That is personal preference as to what type of towel you use. When our little one was Diddy, I always just took one of these hooded baby towels in, and you know, I actually still use the same one to dry her now. So what I used to do is take one poolside and then have another dry one in the bag, so I could kind of bundle her up, but then after I'd taken the wet clothes off, I'd have a second bone dry one to kind of wipe her down with, get her dry and warm quickly. Now I've switched, because she's a toddler, you know, she's on her feet, she's up and about, I use a hooded swim towel. So I take this to the poolside, pop it on her once we've got out, and then I'll keep a second dry towel in the swim bag to dry her down once I've got her undressed, to get her dry clothes on. In terms of getting undressed at the other end, you obviously need to have a change of clothes for them with you, which you should do anyway, because you'd usually take them in their clothes. So point to note that might be helpful is if you're using the reusable swim nappies, they stop poo coming through, but not wee. So you don't want to get them changed at home, put the clothes over them and put them in a car seat, because if they do a tinkle, it will come straight through. Yeah, don't know about the disposable ones, can't comment on that, but I've always got our little girl ready when we got there for that exact reason. So yeah, they'll need the change of clothes for the other side once they're out of the pool and you've got them dried off. You also want some kind of changing stuff with you. I've just always used this little change wallet. It's cute actually. It's, I don't know, I haven't got my glasses on. It says Neves Neverland, but it's just a little pop wallet, and you can put nappies in one side, wipes in the other, nappy bags, cream, whatever you need. Don't be me. Remember to restock this. It's the bane of my life. The amount of times I've almost had to play nappy roulette because after a session I've not shoved, well, after several sessions I've not shoved some more nappies in. Luckily we often swim with friends who can bail me out, but yeah, just don't forget about restocking it. I feel silly saying that. I'm probably teaching you to suck eggs. Everybody else is probably like, oh, I regularly restock my nappy wallet and nappy caddies, but oh, not me, not I. And if there's anybody else like me, just flagging it for you so you don't get caught out too. So yeah, so that's change stuff. For myself, when I get out of the pool, I used to just use a big beach towel and wrap it around me, which, to be fair, when she was a little baby was absolutely fine. As she's got older and she's a toddler and she's mobile, it is a communal change. They have a ladies and gents, but it's a communal changing room. Now she'll just try and take off, as little kids do. Sorry about the padding around the dog. The dog has come to see what I'm up to. What was I saying? Now she's a toddler and she's up on her feet and she's trying to get into mischief. I have switched to packing a poncho style swim surf towel. Oh, golly, can you see? It's got a hood. It's one of the ones you can put on and it's got an armhole either side. That's been a game changer for me because I can bring my daughter through to get her changed, and I can throw that poncho over me so I'm at least a little bit warm whilst I get her ready. Similarly, if she's dressed and she decides to take off as I'm like pulling my pants up or something, it covers my modesty a little bit, as opposed to the beach towel, because we had a few interesting moments before I made that swap. So I'd really recommend these. It's really lightweight, easy to dry, and you know, look after it and everything. It's been really, really helpful. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. We've covered getting ready, going in, coming out. So it's always worth thinking about feeding and snacks, depending on your little one's age. back when I was breastfeeding, I would just make sure that I could sit and give her a feed afterwards. She'd usually have a big feed after a swim session and then go to sleep. As she's got older now, I just make sure I've got a drink and a snack because she's usually hungry afterwards. So that's worth just thinking about that. And also it can just be helpful to have extra layers because they do get a bit chilly, especially this time of year, like it's winter currently. It can be really helpful to have an additional layer to put on them once you've got them dressed after the pool. So back when our little girl was a baby, I would use one of the, oh my goodness, what are they called? Don't you hate it when that happens? Star wraps. So back when she was really little, I'd use star wraps. I had them in 2 sizes actually, they were brilliant. And if you don't know what they are, they're like a, well, star-shaped fleece wrap. It's really thin fleece, so it's safe to put over them and then put them in a car seat. But it goes over the head, over the little arms and legs, and it's a little bit like a thin wearable blanket, but I'd get her in a vest, a sleep suit, put that over her, put her in her car seat, and then I could get her strapped in, cover her with an extra blanket if she needed it. That used to work really, really well for us. As she's got older, usually I'll now get her changed and then pop her in a like a onesie type setup. She's got several different onesies, and they again work quite well for us because it's just that extra layer of warmth, isn't it? Obviously, depending on the weather, a coat as well to walk her back to the car if she needs it. But yeah, it's just sometimes it can be helpful to have that additional thin layer. And I think that is everything that I can think of. That is my spaniel digging on the sofa. I really hope you can't hear that because he sounds like a little warthog. Murph, honey, we're nearly done. Can't be quiet. If it's not dogs, it's kids. Like if you're trying to do something, it's like they know. But yeah, I think that is everything. I really, really hope that's been helpful. And if you are thinking about taking your little one swimming, go for it. Do go for it. Don't miss out. I look back and I think, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that I braved it and we went because we'd have missed out on so much otherwise. But yeah, I hope this has been helpful. Enjoy swimming. Take care. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do stick around. Thanks for watching. Bye.